All right, class, well, here we go. Week 3. Hope you had a good first 2 weeks. Saw some really great content. My goal, just so you know, is to have everything as far as grades go updated by the probably by the end of this week, if not before. So I've got a busier week, and I know that you have a busier week, but I want to get into everything and make sure that you have updated grades no later than the end of this week, okay? So we have a lot to do this week. We have 4 different assignments that are due, if you will. We've got a number of chapters to read and sections and all of that. But again, the way that this class has been structured is such because we're not meeting face-to-face for those what would be 6 hours of seat time or face-to-face, live contact over this 8-week term. So there's a lot to do, but it's very intentional because we're not actually having that in seat class time, okay? So we're going to read Tang, chapters 4 and 5. We'll look at career development theories, okay? We're going to look at LipTAC, chapters 1 and 2. This is treatment planning and career counseling. I love this text. LipTAC is, I took this class this last semester up at Chico State in Career and Life Planning certificate program, graduate program with them. Test and measurements course, and LipTAC is everywhere. He has done tremendous work in the assessments realm. So this is a great book, and I think you'll really enjoy it, especially as you think about the treatment plans and the work that you do around those ideas in the rest of your program. So I think you'll find this to be really valuable. I hope you hold on to this book. Even if you don't go into career counseling, I think there's some great valuable content and learning that you can get from this text that can be used in the rest of your careers, really. It's an older book. I apologize that it's so expensive. Hopefully you found it used. I don't know why something that's as slim as it is so expensive, but that's the nature of academic textbooks, which drives me crazy. And I wouldn't use it, but for the fact there's nothing else like it, and I think it's actually a tremendous book that will help you tremendously. So I know I just used the word tremendously twice, or tremendous, but I think that both are applicable and warranted within this context. So you're going to read chapters 1 and 2 there. It's a great book. And then you read part 2 from Schwen and Bass. Now, let me talk about the assignments that are due, okay? And let me give you a bit more insight into why we're doing them the way that we are, okay? So if you kind of start at the top, actually I'm not going to start at the top. I'm going to start at Schwen and Bass, okay? Schwen and Bass is this opportunity for you to kind of philosophically think about what is it that you think about career, development, vocation, calling, how they all fit, okay? And you kind of dig in, and that's where your conversation, I hope it's been meaningful conversation that you've had. Like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That was a great point. Oh my goodness. Or maybe even some pushback. Like, I hear what you're saying, but because you know that in a face-to-face classroom, we don't always agree, right? We can disagree in love, right? In compassion and empathy. There's something different, though, about the written word where we don't have an opportunity to kind of, quote, defend ourselves. But I hope it's been meaningful for you. But this is your philosophical, theological, theoretical kind of let's go deep into the minutia and kind of dig in and see this what we think about this, okay? Then we have the case studies. I hope you've enjoyed the case studies so far. I think they're valuable. Remember that one of the things that I said was I'm not going to be correcting you necessarily on what you write in those case studies. And the reason for that is because I don't know that I can necessarily say that you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong, because you're going to approach things differently, right? So I just finished a class at Chico State. I think I mentioned that I was in that course, and in this class, at the final assignment, I was given a number of case studies that I had to respond to. And I guarantee you that I think there was like 30, 35 students in the class. Even though we all had the same case studies, our responses were very different. It's just the nature. And it doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong or vice versa. So what I will give you some feedback on, and maybe some of you already received this, is I need more detail. Okay, so don't blow this case study assignment off. If there was the first week, not a lot of detail, I still give you full credit if you completed it. But in the following weeks, I'm not going to. I'll probably give you partial if it's not full enough. It needs to be a robust, thoughtful response. And most of them are great. Most of them are very thorough and thoughtful. But I'm not going to tell you this is the wrong way to do it. I just want to see that you're thinking through how would you respond to the case studies, right? How do you, in a sense, you're playing career counselor in this situation. The next part, and I'm going to kind of go to the top, if you're looking at your syllabus, is the LipTAC 321. And I think there's I want to say there's 5 of these. And in these, you're looking for 3 takeaways. Okay, so what are so 3 big ideas, 2 questions, and then 1 immediately actionable item. Like, what's something that you could take today and put into practice tomorrow? Even if you're not in a career counseling relationship with somebody, how could you then utilize whatever it is you're reading and put it into practice? Okay, so you've got your practical, praxis-based, I'm playing career counselor. You've got your philosophical, theoretical, theological, vocational, right? All of these kind of deeper type things with Schwen and Bass. And then you've got your lip tech. And this is practical, but it's also an opportunity for you to ask questions. So I'm going to be more brief in this video because I want to come back at the end of probably Friday or Saturday, and I want to respond to a number of your questions, right? So I had one class I'm teaching, they asked all these questions at the beginning of the course, and so I was able then to respond, just really kind of rapid fire, like boom, 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 boom. Here's my answers, and then it was really helpful for them. And again, as I've been doing this for a long time, this is the first exposure you've ever had, you're 2 weeks in to this whole idea of career counseling, you're probably not going to potentially have, be as well versed in this content as say I am. So I want to give you some responses to that, and that'll be another video I'll post later this week. Okay, so 3 big ideas, kind of takeaways, 2 questions, and 1 actionable item. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Doing bullet points doesn't really matter, but it does need to be clear, right? So I need to see 3 takeaways, 2 questions, 1 actionable item. Okay, so don't put them all in the same paragraph, because as I'm reading through, I want to actually see that you've done everything as I've asked. Okay, and then you have these exercises. And let me say this about the exercises. So Tang, in some weeks, you've got 2 things going on there. You've got the case studies and the exercises. Again, the case studies are to play, and the exercises are for you to think through personally. How would you respond to whatever it is that's being asked of you, okay? So one of the things that I hear quite often, I'm looking over my syllabus over here in this other screen, one of the things that I hear quite often from students is that this class was not just beneficial for them professionally, but it was beneficial for them personally, right? And that's just because they did the assignments, they helped to kind of think through the content, both how would they help a client through it, but then also how would they go through it themselves. And so when I started to use this Tang text, and this is now the 2nd time I've used the book, I like it. I like what she has to say quite a bit. When I started to use the Tang text, I realized that it has these great exercises. And if the content of the course was already helpful for individuals personally, what would happen if we took it even deeper and we created space for you to have to actually think about these things yourself personally? And I think it's been pretty powerful. So one of the things that you'll find in this, if you did go into career counseling or start to do some sort of kind of on the side career coaching as I've been doing now, you might even find that these exercises are helpful things for you to do with clients. So I want you to hopefully find value in them. I think that they're really helpful. They're very quick, but that's another element, right? Another layer of the process. So as you're training to think about how do I help other people through this career development process, my hope would be that you're also being able to spend some intentional, thoughtful time yourself to think through, what does this mean to you? Okay, so that's the reason that we have some of those exercises, and I think that you'll find them to be very valuable as well. So yeah, exercise, case study, 3, 2, 1, Schwen and Bass discussion. There's an optional discussion that goes along with the video, this video here, but mainly in response to anything that you read that you want to share that wasn't necessarily kind of fit within one of those nice and tidy boxes. And then how would you respond to these exercise or the articles? So there's a couple articles that I've assigned you to read every single week. So 2 or 3 articles, maybe a video or something like that. This week we're going to look at spirituality, which I actually spelled incorrectly, I just noticed. Oh, how embarrassing. Religion and career development. I think very fitting for a program like ours. And then what do we know when we know a person is going to be important as well. Okay? So, yeah, I hope you have a great week. Like I said, I think in the email, I'm shooting to have everything updated as far as the grades go by the end of this week. Maybe a little bit sooner, but at least by the end. So when I say end, I mean Sunday. And I'm going to be briefer in this video because, like I said, I'm going to post some responses to the questions that you asked in the LipTac 321. So between now and then, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If there's things I can clarify, I'm happy to do that. You're doing a great job. I know that some of you are still getting caught up. Hope books are all in. And like I said, we're way into the term. So I've had some students that have dropped because their books didn't show up in time. And I think if that's you, it's probably something we should at least discuss. Okay? So I hope you're having a great week so far. Like I said, if I can help in any way, please don't hesitate to contact me. I don't know how I can help you if I don't hear from you. And I've got a lot of students, and so it's not that I don't want to reach out individually, but this is my plea to you. If you need assistance, please let me know, okay? I hope the APA documents were helpful. I hope the APA brief video was helpful. Please use Purdue OWL. Please go out and get the APA handbook. There are so many resources out there that you will find beneficial to the work that we're doing, not just in this course, but in the program in general, all right? So again, if I can support you in any way that I'm not aware of, please let me know. I'm happy to do all that I can within my ability, and look forward to seeing what this week holds for us, all right? So have a great week, and we'll see you online.